Hi everyone and welcome back to another lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. Now, a couple of weeks ago there was a comment, someone asked about a lesson on how we use or 가지고. So today's lesson is all about how we use or 가지고. Now, or 가지고 works as a connective ending. And what that means is that when we add or 가지고 to the first verb, and then we add another verb, we basically use or 가지고 to connect two ideas. And when we do that, or 가지고 helps to form a relationship between these two ideas. And we use or 가지고 to form two different types of relationships between these two ideas. And the first one is basically time sequence. So when we add or 가지고 to the first verb is the first action, and then the second verb, the verb that comes after or 가지고 is the second action. So we'll begin with a example sentence. It's 제가 서울에 도착해 가지고 전화할게요. I will arrive in Seoul and then call you. 제가 서울에 도착해 가지고 전화할게요. So the first idea is 서울에 도착하다, which means to arrive in Seoul. And we add 여 가지고 to any kind of verbs that end in 하다, and that helps to form 도착해 가지고. And that basically means arrive in Seoul and then. So in that, when we use our 가지고 to sequence actions, it's similar meaning to and then. And then the second action that happens is 전화할게요, which combines 전화하다, which means to make a call or make a phone call, and 을게요, which kind of functions like will. So 전화할게요 means we'll call you. So that's how we use or 가지고. That's one of the uses of or 가지고, to sequence two actions. And in general, or 가지고, the use of or 가지고 is somewhat colloquial and also somewhat casual. And what that means is that it's not so much that you can't use them in formal situations, but in situations and time, and there are times where we shouldn't be using casual language, right? So there are in various situations where we mustn't use casual language. Sometimes because it can be offensive, but also there are times where we don't want to come across casual in certain situations. And in those situations, you don't want to be using or 가지고. Instead, what we do is we use 아서, 어서, because in essence, 아서, 어서 has the same function as or 가지고, but it doesn't come across as casual. So the same sentence can be said with 아서, 어서, and we can say 제가 서울에 도착해서 전화할게요. 제가 서울에 도착해서 전화할게요. And that has the same meaning, but it doesn't come across as casual as the sentence that uses or 가지고. Now, another common way of using or 가지고, and this still relates to how we sequence actions, as in like the first action and then the second action, is that we add or 가지고 to the first verb, and then we use the verbs of movement like 오다 가다, to come and to go. So we say I'll do this and then I'll come, or I'll go. And that kind of use is very common. So let's say, for example, you are on your way home and your mother or your wife or husband or your partner calls and says, we are out of milk. Can you pick up some milk on the way home? And you want to say, okay, I'll buy it and then I'll come home. And that's how we say it in Korean quite often. And we can use or 가지고 to make these sentences. So we can say, 제가 사가지고 올게요. I'll buy it and come home. 제가 사가지고 올게요. So in this sentence, we combine the verb 사다, to buy, with 가지고 to form 사가지고. So we're saying I'll buy it and then 올게요, which combines the verb 오다, to come, and again 을게요. So 올게요 means will come. And that way of using I'll do this and then I'll go or I'll come is a really common way of using or 가지고 in Korean to sequence two actions. And just to give you some other example, we can say like not just 사다, but we can say like I'll find it and come. 찾아가지고 올게요 is another common way of using it. We also say quite often like I'll prepare it and come. 준비해 가지고 올게요. 제가 준비해 가지고 올게요. So that's a really common way of using I'll 가지고 to sequence actions. Okay, so the second use of or 가지고 is to form relationships between two ideas where one is the cause and the other is the effect. So basically, when we use or 가지고 in this way, it's kind of similar to words like so and because. When we say, oh, this is what happened, as a result, this happened. So here's an example sentence. 제가 아파가지고 병원에 갔어요. I was sick, so I went to a hospital. 제가 아파가지고 병원에 갔어요. 병원에 갔어요. So we have the adjective or the descriptive verb 아프다 combining with 가지고 to form 아파가지고, meaning I was sick. So, and then the effect of being sick is 병원에 갔어요. Went to a hospital. And again, similar to how we use when we use in whichever way you use it, use of or 가지고 is colloquial and somewhat casual. So if you need to be a bit more formal or you don't want to be so casual, then you can use 어서 and say 제가 아파서 병원에 갔어요. And that basically has the same meaning. Now, one other key usage point is that when we use or 가지고 to give reasons, we can use or 가지고 with adjectives, descriptive verbs, as you have seen with that example, 아파서, because 아프다 is in Korean an adjective. But when we sequence actions, naturally, because we're sequencing actions, we can't use or 가지고 with adjectives, because adjectives are not actions. So that's one usage point to note. With or 가지고. So when we form cause and effect relationship between ideas, we can use or 가지고 with adjectives. And to give you one more example sentence, if people in love do crazy things and they're asked, why did you do that crazy thing? They might say, 사랑해 가지고 그랬어요. I was in love, so I did it. Or I did it because I was in love. 사랑해가지고 그랬어요. And I'll leave it at that. Okay, so that's how we use or 가지고. We use or 가지고 to sequence actions and also to form a cause and effect relationship between two ideas. And the use of or 가지고 is colloquial and also somewhat casual. So in situations where you don't want to be so casual, you can use 어서 instead. That's it for today, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon again. Bye bye.